Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, January 8th, 2024. I wanted to come on and do a video today, and once again, I want to talk about the government. Everybody talks about the USA and how it's a free country, and that it is better than any third world country out there. Well, in the current state and the current administration running our current government, I can't help but to feel that it feels like a third world country. The border has millions and millions of illegal immigrants coming across it who are getting millions of taxpayers' dollars in food stamps, money, cell phones, bus tickets, and hotel rooms that are paid for by you and I, the American taxpayers. It's absolutely crazy the extents that they will go to pay other countries and other people than to help the American people. The money that they are using is illegally harvested from us. The tax dollars that they are not supposed to be levying from us, but they do on a daily basis for everything. They tax you literally to death. If you want to get married, you have to get the government's permission. You have to pay the government for a certificate to get married. If you want to go hunting or fishing or even survive because you have no other means, you have to pay the government for a license to fish and hunt. And they slowly get higher and higher in price. They don't own the animals. They don't own the fish. They don't own the lakes. They just say they do. They make up a law and you have to follow it no matter what. That's just the way the world works. Driver's license. According to the U.S. Constitution, which everybody should have a copy of this, states that you are supposed to be able to get to and from work, wherever you need to go, without any hassle. Well, you have to pay the government for that. You have to pay to have a driver's license. You have to pay to have insurance. You have to pay to have plates. You have to pay them to be able to drive your car or get where you need to go. That is another thing that they own and a law that they put into place for you to follow. You also have to pay them for your kid to go to school, to be taught critical race theory and transgender and how to be a cat and dog and to be furries. You have to send your child to these schools. If you don't, it's considered child abuse. By not sending your kid to school, it's child abuse. They can take your children away and put you in jail and charge you tons of money. If your child doesn't pay for their lunch, they can take you to small claims court and sue you for the money for your kid not paying for their school lunches. That is part of the government's freedoms. Inmates in prisons get free health care, free medical and dental, free room and board, free food, free cable. In some instances, they get iPads, PlayStations. They get internet access to send emails, all for free, paid for by tax dollars. It's like $700 trillion a year to house inmates. That's a lot of money to house inmates that have way better stuff than our children in schools. They're well protected, they're well taken care of. Well, our children, they can't even get security in school. So that's another one. Taxes on your land. Once you buy your land, you would think that, hey, it's mine, I own it, I can do what I want with it. That's not the case. You will pay taxes on that for the rest of your life. In some cases, I've even seen people who've bought their land in the 50s 40s, 50s, 60s, who bought the land for less than they pay in taxes today. They will never own it, and the government dictates what you can do on your land. I know that's another freedom that we get. It's part of the free U.S. that we live in. Another thing is natural gas that comes from the earth. The government decided that they own that and that you will pay for it. That's just one of their things. They own it. It's theirs. You will pay them for it. And now we've got these global extremists who believe in, the earth is melting and all of this stuff, who are trying to take the natural gas away that they have made billions and trillions of dollars off from, and say you can't have a gas stove, you can't have a gas car, you can't have any of this stuff because they decided that. They're trying to do away with it because they decided. The laws that we have to follow within the U.S. were created by the government. Voted on, put into law, signed into law, without any of our say. They work for us, but they don't ask our permission to do anything. They tell us all the time that, we vote them in and they have our best interest at hand, but they don't. They don't even care about us. Like I said in a previous video, I wrote a book called We the Peasants, an 8th Century Stronghold, where I talk about the beginning of kings and queens up to today. Kings and queens had peasants. Peasants did everything for them. They were slaves. They built their castles. They hunted the food. They did this. In kings and queens times, if you killed a deer because you were starving and you were trying to save your family, you could be put to death for killing that deer because the king owned it. Does that sound familiar? Yes, it's the same thing in today's world. The government that we have controlling us is now the kings and queens. It's the Congress and Senate and the presidency and all of these different places. They control every aspect of our lives to the point where they listen in on our conversations. They can hack our pictures. They can decipher what we can and cannot say. If they don't like this video that I'm putting out right now, they will shut it down so that way no one can see it. They will censor me just because they don't want you to know what I'm saying. They have that right in this free United States that we live in. They make the rules. They decide everything that is done in the U.S. And we are supposed to continue to pay them tax dollars, being taxed to death. Like every cent. It's kind of like, sadly, going to church. They want you to tithe 30% of what you make in money to them so they can continue to be rich. But if you ever ask the church, hey, can you help me? I'm down on my luck. My wife needs some medical bills paid. No, they will not help you. Well, they're driving brand new cars, living in brand new houses. The whole thing seems like it's a scam for money. That's the way the government kind of works. It is a scam for money. If we've seen anything with the recent Sam Bankman-Fried and the FTX scam, billions of dollars were stolen from American people and people around the world. They caught the guy. They extradited him. They found out that millions of dollars were laundered into Democratic campaigns, including Joe Biden, the current president, and that nobody was going to get their money back. They weren't required to pay it back. And yet, Sam Bankman-Fried just had all the charges against him dropped. That's interesting. If that was anybody else, especially someone who was a Republican or an independent or someone who believed other than the Democratic way, we would be in prison just that fast. I mean, there wouldn't even be a trial, as we seen with January 6th. we've seen the videos now that there was no insurrection. The FBI and the Capitol Police allowed these people in. It was mostly peaceful, except for an officer shot Ashley Babbitt, and nothing has ever been done about that. But once again, they have all the power. They put these people in prison without due process, without recognizing the Constitution of the United States of what it's supposed to be. And just 1 second, I gotta pause. Sorry, my son was calling in. But basically, what I'm trying to tell you is the government controls every aspect of our lives. We have to pay them for their lifestyles to continue. That's why it's such a big issue with these 85,000 IRS agents that they want to hire, because the people who are missing their taxes or messing up a little bit on $20 or $50, that's where their big money comes from, is the middle class and the lower class. The elites and the millionaires and billionaires don't pay taxes. They get around it. They have all of these things that they can do to get around it, so they don't pay taxes. So that's why they're after me and you, because if you take so much as a $5 from these elites via taxes, you forget to pay it or you didn't pay it, that is where their money comes from, and they can't have that. They can't have you taking $5 out of their pocket. They need that to continue their lifestyles. That's why they impose all of these laws and tax laws and things that they've decided that you have to follow, or you go to jail. That's just the end of it. You have to follow their rules no matter what. And that's the current state of the government we live in. They literally write the laws, they make the laws, they enforce the laws for us, not for the elites, as we've seen with Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, some of these Democrats that are literally scamming and getting in trouble. Nothing is being done about it. Only you and me and people who are Republican are getting in trouble. These Democrats have the higher ups, they have the power, and they do what they want. No one stops them. No one stops them from doing all of this corruption and child trafficking and Epstein Island. And I mean, the list goes on and on with the corruption that they're doing. And I'm not saying that Republicans are any better. There are millions of rhinos that are Republican in name only, because they have such a good thing going. They have to keep it going on both sides. They have to pretend that they allow Republicans to be in there and they are actually listening to what we're saying. They have to pretend that. Otherwise, they would have anarchy on their hands, right? It's kind of like back when Congress and Senate and all that was first set up. I can picture how it went. Some guy came in and pitched the idea, like, hey, listen, these peasants are getting out of control. You know, they want to revolt. They want to rise up against us. They keep, doing stuff that they're not supposed to. What if we come together and we pretend to give them the upper hand? We make a constitution. We create Congress, Senate, and a presidency. Make them think that they're going to vote for who they want to represent them, and we'll make them think that they have the upper hand. We'll even incorporate religion into it, so that way they feel really protected, like we're going to do what's best for them. All along, we're going to just continue to do whatever we want with no one to stop us. And everybody's like, whoa, that's a great idea. Let's incorporate that into the U.S. We'll make it the freest country ever by them having their vote, and we will let them think that they have the upper hand, all while stealing money from them, incorporating laws that are so ridiculous that it's retarded, and we'll continue to get away with murder and whatever we want, all while stealing American people's money and making them think that they have a voice that's going to be heard. Not only that, we will steal money, send it to other countries, and then launder it back into our pockets. We will pretend to make wars and all of this stuff and make it look really bad, so that way we can continue to launder the money. And we will be rich, they will be poor, and no one's the wiser. Then everyone in these other countries will think, America is the freest place on earth. I want to go there. So they'll come across the border at alarming rates. They'll want to sneak in and pay us too as soon as they come in here. And they've been in the country for so long, because the first 7 years they don't have to pay taxes. So after that, they'll pay us taxes. They'll vote the way we want because we've allowed them to see how easy it is. We'll pay them. We'll give them phones. They'll vote the way we want them to vote. That way, we can continue this flim-flam that we've designed to steal America's money. And no one's the wiser. They'll just allow it to happen. No one pays attention to the U.S. Constitution hardly anymore. I bet you there's only a handful of people who've actually read the Constitution and know what it says. That half of these people that are running our country are breaking the Constitution every day, and nothing happens. Sadly, nothing happens. It is crazy. I have another book that I wrote called Operation Truth, Rogue Colonel's Quest, which is on YouTube. So all of my books are on YouTube and Barnes & Noble under R.P. Stanton. In that book, in the back of it, there is a portion of the Constitution to give you the highlights. So that way, when you buy the book, you actually don't realize that you're getting a copy of the U.S. Constitution, because everybody should know it. And everybody should imply what was our God-given rights, supposedly, when they created the Constitution. Yeah, it's crazy. No one knows. But with all of this being said, basically, the United States people who are getting scammed on a daily basis, money stolen from us every day, used for projects that we don't have no say in, sending trillions of dollars to other countries. Well, millions and millions of Americans are filing bankruptcy, can't afford food, living on the streets. Veterans who have gave their lives to protect our freedoms, living in the streets, battling drug addiction, because they have nowhere else to turn. These are the things that we deal with as Americans. Yes, America used to be a free country, but the Democrats, Republicans, rhinos, all of these people in charge have gotten so greedy that they cannot help themselves anymore. They need that power and that greed, and they will do whatever it takes to keep it. They will not stop, they will not falter until they have all the power. I guarantee you that at some point they want to become dictators. They want to put us in 15-minute cities. They want us eating bugs. They want us in electric cars. They don't think that they control us enough. They want to be able to control us even more. That's why they're trying to push for all of this, the population control. You know why they want that so bad? Because there's more Americans in this U.S. who stand for America and freedoms than there are these rich elites who want to snuff us out. So, therefore, they're afraid that if they don't knock us all out with diseases and catastrophic events, that we, as a people, could stand up against them, and they don't like that. So, therefore, population control is their best bet. The more of us that they can eliminate, the better. The easier it is for them to control a small population. So, with that being said, think about this. Message me. Let's talk about it. Does anybody else feel the same way that I feel? Does anybody else have these same thoughts in their heads about how the government is screwing the American people and giving all of our tax dollars to other countries? Yeah, that's just a question that I've had for a while. Like and subscribe to the channel. It's called The Ugly Truth 2023. I didn't do a song today. I might do one later, and I'll pop it up here. But I just wanted to talk about this because it seems like it's a never-ending battle. And if we don't figure something out soon, there isn't going to be a U.S. for anybody to raise their families in. I mean, it's already happening. We've got rich elites, powerful elites building million-dollar bunkers, putting them underground, stocking them all around the U.S. and Hawaii. Jeff Bezos has spent $220 million on this compound to build an underground bunker. What do they know that we don't know? Is it too late? Is it too late for us to even try to think of what we could do? Do they know something we don't know? It's a good question. Like I said, like and subscribe, share this video, message on here. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what we can do. Is there anything that can be done? And we'll go from there. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.